Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Let me start with you, Patrick. Before we get to the discussion, let me just give you quick details about the deal that has been struck. The new plan entails winding down the popular Bank of Cyprus, also known as Laiki, and shifting deposits below 100,000 euros to the Bank of Cyprus to create a good bank. Deposits above 100,000 euros in both banks, which are not guaranteed under the EU law, will be frozen and used to resolve Laiki's debts and recapitalize the Bank of Cyprus through a deposit equity conversion. Deposits at both banks higher than 100,000 euros will be subject to a levy, which some reports say could mean up to a 40% haircut. So let's start this discussion. Now let me come to you first, Patrick. This new bailout that has been struck, is this better than the one which was proposed earlier? Because now there is no levy on small deposits.
I think it is better. You know, the technicalities here are important, but you know, for viewers in India, it's worth just reminding yourself how minuscule Cyprus is. I mean, it's the sort of equivalent of a financial crisis in Goa bringing down the entire Indian economy, which is, you know, completely implausible. So Cyprus is minuscule. It's about 0.2% of the Eurozone's GDP, and despite that, it did manage to produce a big scare, particularly in the media over the last few weeks. The deal they've reached has come after the customary Eurozone cock-up. The first deal they struck wasn't acceptable to Cyprus's population, and quite rightly so. The second deal does look more palatable, but I think the big picture message here is that despite a lot of the fears around, and despite that negotiating cock-up, the markets have just not really moved very much. Debt spreads in the Eurozone remain pretty stable. Bank credit spreads, another key measure of fear in the markets, have remained pretty stable too. So before, if you like, one gets to the fine print, I think the important message is the safety blanket that the European authorities have wrapped around the Eurozone still seems to inspire some confidence.
All right, so it should inspire some confidence, but Mr. Dhawan, let me come to you. Why this entire bailout got a lot of attention when the first bailout was proposed was because the entire proposition of putting even a one-time levy on deposits was really very, very shocking. Can you tell us, when a big bank or any bank winds down, what are the steps taken and what happens to insured depositors? When does it come for them to pay up?
You know, I have never particularly seen any situation where depositors take a haircut. Certainly in India, we have never seen such an instance. Normally, the order of priorities of the entire, liabilities are that first of all, the owners, which is the shareholders, take a hit. Then the preferred stock holders take a hit. Then the innovative perpetual instrument wallahs will take a hit. Then the holders of other bonds, 5-year bonds or 10-year bonds, who have invested in the corporates, the bank's bonds, would take a hit.